Hello, folks. I hope everyone is doing well today. Welcome to the show. My name is Rico. Today, I want to talk about the rise of STI and STD in the Philippines. In the Philippines, sexual transmitted diseases and infections have become major public health concerns. Recent years have witnessed a significant increase in cases in the country, necessitating a detailed study of the mechanism driving this increase, the identification of high risk areas, and the implementation of effective preventive measures, particularly for foreign visitors or residents. Recent patterns show an alarming increase, particularly among expats and other groups. Both locals and expats can improve their sexual health by understanding these patterns, the causes of the increase in infections, preventative measures, and hotspots for these disorders. According to the Philippine healthcare system, the prevalence of sexually transmitted infections has skyrocketed in recent years. The increase in HIV prevalence, along with other STIs such as syphilis, chlamydia, and gonorrhea, is particularly remarkable. With an expected 411% increase in daily HIV incident between 2012 and 2023, the country is currently facing one of the world's fastest growing HIV epidemics as of 2024. Furthermore, figures suggest that as of 2018, nearly 77,000 people in the country were HIV positive, underlining the crucial need for increased healthcare and education activities. According to a comprehensive review, older people aged 45 to 64 have seen a significant increase in STI cases, despite a decrease in new diagnoses among younger populations. Syphilis and HIV cases have been particularly common in this age bracket, indicating a shift in the demographics of individuals affected. The increased infection rate demonstrate numerous gaps in sexual health knowledge and access to medical resources, particularly among vulnerable communities and the elderly. The primary mode of transmission for STIs and STDs is through sexual contact. HPV, gonorrhea, syphilis, chlamydia, and HIV are all common causes. If left untreated, these infections can cause serious health problems such as infertility, organ damage, and increased susceptibility to other infections. In recent years, the number of STI and STD cases in the Philippines has climbed dramatically. There are numerous explanations for this growing trend. High risk sexual habits, such as having multiple sexual partners and using condoms irregularly, have been linked to the transfer of STIs and STDs. According to one study, certain categories of entertainment workers are exempt from routine examinations, and the vast majority of freelance sex workers either do not qualify for the system or do not use it at all, resulting in greater prevalence rates among these groups. Risky behaviors stem from a lack of knowledge about STIs and STDs, how they spread, and how to prevent them. The problem is exacerbated by cultural taboos surrounding discussing sexual health. Early infection detection and management are impeded by limited access to sexual health services such as testing and treatment facilities, particularly in remote areas. Because of the societal stigma associated with STIs and STDs, people are discouraged from being tested and receiving treatment, allowing infections to spread uncontrollably. Inadequate sexual health education is one of the several reasons contributing to the rise in STIs and STDs in the Philippines. Although awareness has increased, there is still a lack of comprehensive sexual health education, particularly in communities and schools. Many people lack the necessary information and resources to protect themselves due to misconceptions about how STIs spread and how to avoid them. Financial limits have an impact on access to healthcare. Many people cannot afford routine testing, treatment, or information that would lower their risk of developing STIs and STDs. Cultural perceptions on sexual health, which are frequently influenced by religious beliefs, remain quite important. Because the Catholic Church opposes the use of contraception, safe sexual practices are frequently discouraged, increasing the risk of infection. The prevalence of dangerous sexual behaviors has increased, such as having many partners, engaging in casual intercourse, and utilizing substances that reduce inhibitions. This practice is especially prevalent in expat communities among younger people and certain groups. With significant disparities in infection rates between urban and rural areas, certain areas of the Philippines have been identified as STD and STI hotspots. Due to its dense population and high levels of migration for work, Region 6, Western Visayas, has a higher prevalence of STIs, particularly syphilis and HIV. This is one of the famous high burden areas. Because of the mix of native and visitors in Region 7, Central Visayas, which is recognized for its tourist attractions, infection rates are rising, particularly among temporary residents. Urban congestion, nightlife, and the prevalence of both legal and illicit sex work are the primary drivers of Metro Manila's consistently high STI rates. According to current estimates, the Davao region is experiencing an alarming spike in STI diagnosis, with particularly high rates of syphilis and HIV among teenagers and young adults. Sexually transmitted infections are frequent among sex workers in Angeles City, which is well known for its entertainment venues. According to one study, chlamydia infection rates were 37% and 35% respectively, with gonorrhea prevalence of 38% among unregistered sex workers and 15% among registered ones. Given the social and cultural background of sexual health in the Philippines, expats living there should be aware of the risk of STIs and STDs. Key preventative measures include educating oneself about local health resources and being up to date on the nature of STIs and STDs, such as symptoms, mechanisms of transmission, and preventative measures. This requires being aware of the local environment, including sexual health norms of conduct. The risk of infection can be significantly reduced by using condoms properly and consistently. Condoms effectively protect against HIV and most other STDs. Participants in high risk activities should be aware of additional HIV prevention measures, such as pre exposure prophylaxis, which has been shown to be efficacious in high risk populations. Sexually active people, particularly those who have multiple partners, require routine STI testing. Many infections can be successfully treated and the effects can be avoided with timely detection. International health organizations, non governmental organizations, and local clinics also offer screening alternatives. The risk of exposure can be reduced by limiting the number of sexual partners. Another strategy to reduce risk is to engage in mutually monogamous relationships with tested partners. Expats can further safeguard themselves by getting healthcare treatments such as vaccines against preventable STIs like hepatitis B and HPV. Many metropolitan clinics offer specialized treatments only to expats. When it comes to casual sexual interactions, expats should be cautious. It is critical to understand and ensure that precautionary measures are used. The rise of STDs and STIs in the Philippines is a major public health concern that requires coordinated solutions in education, healthcare access, and community participation. Prioritizing their sexual health while in the country encourages expats to actively use the available health services, learn about local patterns, and engage in safer sexual practices. Combining personal accountability with community awareness initiatives can help prevent the spread of STIs and STDs, safeguarding both residents and expats. It is possible to drastically reduce infection rates and improve everyone's overall health in the Philippines by increasing education, healthcare access, and dematologizing sexual health discourse. The growth in STI and STD infections in the Philippines is a complicated issue that is influenced by systemic, societal, and behavioral factors. Expats can protect themselves by engaging in safe sexual practices, limiting the number of sexual partners, undergoing frequent testing, receiving the necessary vaccines, and being aware of high risk areas. By taking these precautions, people can significantly reduce their risk of infection while also contributing to the greater effort to combat the spread of STIs and STDs in the Philippines. All right, folks, that is all for today's show. Thank you all for watching. Until next time, have a good day.